Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited. The Man Crisis. Learn why so many men are struggling to find their way in an increasingly gynocentric world in The Man Crisis. Get your copy of The Man Crisis in paperback and Kindle Unlimited today. A 6-year-old boy wound up being murdered by his mother because her boyfriend did not want the children she had in her life anymore. Now, in this case in Butler County, Ohio, Brittany Gosney is alleged to have murdered her 6-year-old son, James Hutchinson, in an effort to abandon her 3 children at the request of her boyfriend, James Hamilton. Now, many people are looking at this case as an isolated incident of depraved murder, but when I take a critical examination of this incident, it fits right in line with the pattern and profile I talk about regarding beta males in my book, The Man Crisis. And your James Hamilton was a textbook beta male who fit the pattern and profile I talk about in depth in my book, The Man Crisis. And this beta male, while he did not participate in the extreme of the spectrum of violent behaviors, he did orchestrate this murder in an effort to try to gain sexual access with this single mother. Now, your beta males are known for participating in extreme behaviors in order to get sex, and I go into detail in that as related to the chapters of the sexual frustration of the beta male and the sexual deviancy of the beta male in The Man Crisis. And this case, your James Hamilton was participating in some instigating this murder was because of his sexual frustration, because he wanted to be the only person who had sexual access to Brittany Gosney, and he wanted to be the center of attention in the relationship. So this depraved man decided to go out here and pressure Brittany Gosney, this mother of 3, to go out here and abandon her children by leaving them in a park. Now, as this woman put her kids outside of the park, she decided to try to floor it and run away, but then James Hutchinson wound up trying to grab the car, and he wound up getting run over and killed. And as a result of that murder, instead of this woman deciding to go out here and call the police as related to the death of her son, she decides instead to take the boy's body and then put it in a room, and then eventually she decided, with the help of this man, to throw this boy's body in a river. And that's what's really so sick about this case is this boy, her son, she had no regard for his life. All she was thinking about was pleasing this beta male who orchestrated this murder, all because he was in his feelings about not getting attention from this woman and not being the center of attention of this woman, because everything was about him being satisfied as related to the relationship. But that's what again shows how sick and depraved this beta male was, because all he's thinking about is how he's feeling about getting access and attention to this woman, and not understanding that if he wanted a woman who didn't have any children, then he should have went out here and gotten involved with a woman who did not have any children. You don't go out here and get involved with a single mother who has 3 children if you want to be the center of attention, because her kids are going to be a priority in her life. And this guy probably went out here and got with this woman because he probably did not have many options for relationships, and because he did not have many options for relationships, he decided to go out here and try to make a relationship be the way he wanted it to, again showing us all the depravity of these beta males because everything is all about their feelings and not about the needs of others. And that's what makes your beta males extremely dangerous, is these men have such tunnel vision regarding the people in their lives. It's all about their feelings at the moment, and they could care less about how other people have to suffer as a result. Because this man, all he was thinking about was, oh, these kids are in my way, these kids are a problem, I need to get rid of these kids. And that just shows again how sick this man is, because he's out here pressuring a single mom to get rid of her children and not understanding that if you want a woman without children, you get involved with a woman without children. You don't pressure a woman to go out here and commit murder. You know, you don't do things like that, and you don't pressure a woman to abandon her children, because that just shows, one, how sick this man is, and it even shows how much sicker this woman is for going along with this psychopath, as I see it. Because any man who would go out here and try to do harm to children in order to get attention and sexual access from a woman, that's just a completely sick and depraved individual, and that's a person who belongs in the lowest part of a prison. Because for you to hurt innocent children, that just shows again how sick you are. And again, these beta males, some of them, they are extremely sick, and the things that they will do to gain sexual access, they're just levels of depravity you just don't even want to think about. I mean, this man just again orchestrated this murder of this child because he didn't want to have her kids, but all he had to do was all this woman had to do, if she was thinking critically, was say, okay, I don't want these kids anymore, then I need to go to Child Protective Services and send those children to Child Protective Services, one, or give those children to the custody of the father. But when it comes down to your beta males, they don't want to go out here and do things like give the custody to the father, who was in this case ready and eager to take his own children, because in many cases your females and your beta males don't want to be the bad guy, and having to give the children to the father is an acknowledgement of them not wanting to take responsibility. So what they would rather do is come up with these crazy schemes of wanting to go out here and abandon these children, because if they abandon the children, then it's the state that's responsible in that case. And that's the kind of depraved thinking that your beta males and your females have in many of these cases. They're sitting there thinking, oh, well, I'm not the bad guy in this case. And they are the bad guy, because you are the one who wants to abandon your children in order to please a beta male who does not want to be a leader, who does not want to be an authority figure, and does not want to take responsibility for an adult situation. Because if this guy was any sort of man who had male life skills and male survival skills, he would understand that if he gets involved with a woman who has children, then he has to take some responsibility for that situation, and he has to understand that he is responsible for those children, because he hasn't decided to get involved with this woman. And if he gets involved with this woman, he then has to take some acknowledgement of this situation. But when it comes down to beta males, these men, they get overwhelmed and frustrated about getting involved with a woman with kids. But some of them will do this because they don't have many options for sexual access, because again, these men don't have good male life skills, don't have good male survival skills, and all they're thinking about is with their penis. And when they think with their penis, they wind up screwing themselves in life. And this guy wound up screwing up not only his life, but the life of this woman and her children, all because he wanted to be the center of attention, and now he's going to be the center of attention inside of the county jail and soon to be the penitentiary when he's probably tried and convicted as related to this murder. He's going to be the center of attention for Tiny and Bubba as they turn that tight end into a wide receiver before they curb stomp him into the ground for murdering this 6-year-old boy, because many of the guys in prison, they don't really like guys like this who will go out here and want to orchestrate a murder of a child, all because he wants and abandon children, all because he wants to gain access to some single mother draws. No, guys in prison don't like this kind of guy because he's a special kind of sick, and that's the kind of guy they want to beat the crap out of in jail and in prison, because this is a special level of sickness, and this is the type of sickness and depravity your beta male is capable of. And what's really scary about these kind of guys is we've got 2 to 3 generations of depraved individuals running out here like this, ticking time bombs that are all across our country. And what's scary about this type of beta male is he was the kind of landmine that wound up exploding and doing not only damage to himself, but doing damage to this family and this depraved individual. I hope that when he's convicted, and if he's convicted, they put him under the jailhouse, because this kind of guy is a special kind of sick. And again, for you to go out here, get involved with a single mother, and then tell her to abandon her children, that's a special kind of evil. That's a kind of evil that comes from Satan. And then to go orchestrate the abandonment of a woman's children, you're a special kind of evil. And again, it shows us how dangerous these beta males are in our society, and how we need to really, again, do something about this man crisis, because males like this, there's a special place in hell for these kind of individuals, and we need to really do something about this man crisis, because if we've got so many more like this, I can only imagine what type of sick and depraved behavior they would participate in if they got a chance. Now, if you want to learn more about why these beta males are extremely dangerous in our society, you can pick up my book, The Man Crisis, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find it on Smashwords, the iBookstore, and Google Play. And if you want to see me make more videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon, my PayPal, or my Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.
Now available for the first time in paperback, Why 70% of Black Women Are Single. Learn all the reasons why so many black women can't find a husband and why 70% of black women are single. Get your copy of Why 70% of Black Women Are Single on Amazon.com today.